I am always struck by the mercifulness of nature. This 2020 COVID 19 pandemic is truly a cooling of the weak and the old. As painful as every life lost is, at the same time, I cannot just stop being at awe at how nature is being selective. Children are spared mostly. This is a disease that affects the old and those with previous conditions. Any life loss is terrible, but to have nature be so selectively cooling and taking people out truly in a cooling process that we didn't give to other species when we exterminated or took to the extermination point the likes of whales and elephants. We didn't do any cooling. We took down sometimes the most magnificent members of the species out of greed because they were bigger and they had more for us to take. Nature is being merciful and giving us a wake-up call, and we continue to hit the snooze button, hoping to go back to the way things were. But we cannot do that because the way things were, that was the wrong way. It is an extraordinary design. I'm surprised that the religious types, the pastors, are not claiming the workings of God here when you see a pandemic that is so pinpointedly taking people out and is taking down the economy first at all. We got a collapse of the stock markets around the world just with the first 10,000 dead. Because the root of our problems is in this economy of constant growth, unabated growth, unintelligent growth, an economy where we don't pay the true cost of the resources we utilized. How much should be a gallon of fuel in the United States? Not $2, but maybe 10 or more, considering all the other costs that go into a gallon of gas, from the health issues caused by accidents and by air quality to the cost of the roads, many costs that we socialized. Going back to the virus, it's also remarkable that this virus got started in Wuhan, in China. And Wuhan is a city that is smack in the middle of the Yangtze River, which was the habitat of the Baiji. Baiji was the Yangtze River dolphin, which was the first cetacean we exterminated as humans. Perhaps the only one we have so far exterminated. And then the virus gets started right there in the middle of this river. And at the fish market in Wuhan, a fish market where, without certainty, Baijin meat was sold at some point. During the Chinese Cultural Revolution, it was okay to hunt the animal. The Baijin, the legend goes that came from a girl who was going to be abused by her father, and she sank the boat and became a river dolphin, a Baiji. This girl was going to be predated by her own father, and she chose to become a river creature. And then we exterminated it. We sold its meat in a fish market. And a few years after the dolphin is gone, a pandemic starts at this very fish market. And it's a magnanimous virus. It's extraordinarily selective. It's not just taking out everybody, young lives, children. Of course, all lives have the same quality, but ultimately there's a selection process here that we didn't grant to so many other species. I could feel the force of nature roaring. As a wounded creature, I could feel it here by the river, like when I was asking for forgiveness. And now I feel the river finally calming down during the peak of the expansion of the virus around the planet, or at least in the first inferno in Europe and the United States. The river here kept going down and down and down, even though it's supposed to be the rainy season. There's supposed to be 3 meters of rain, 10 feet of rain falling in 1 month, and we have only like 1 foot or a third of a meter. But now with the coming of April, in 2 days, the river has come up 1 meter. And the death count is going to still increase dramatically. It's going to be really painful. But the expansion of the virus might already be done. We're going to detect more and more cases, but that doesn't mean the virus is still spreading as we speak. The peak may be in the past. It's just that the death peak may be a couple of weeks away. There are these kids here who put their bicycles in the river. I've seen them before. You're not supposed to do that with a bicycle. There are components that don't take water well, but they find it fun to wash the bicycles in the river.